you ever had that feeling like you're in public, maybe a coffee shop or, I don't know, a bookstore, and you see someone that looks interesting, that you kind of want to talk to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But how do you break the ice? You know?
It's tough. It's intimidating.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to deep dive into today, the surprisingly complex world of small talk.
Yeah.
And it's funny because it's so commonplace, but it can be so awkward,
Yeah.
And what's really fascinating is that we have this video. It's actually titled A Small Talk Conversation, and it's actually made for people who are learning English.
Oh, wow.
But it offers all these subtle insights into, just connecting with people that go way beyond just, knowing the language. Right?
It really does. It's like there's more to it than just the words.
Yeah, it's the human element, right?
Right.
So in this video, we meet Emily, and she's at this cafe. She's feeling a little hesitant.
I can relate to that. Definitely.
Yeah, we've all been there. Should I stay in my own little world or should I say hi?
Right.
But thankfully, Emily decides to be brave.
Good for her.
And what she does is she starts with the classics.
Oh, okay.
Just like a little comment about the coffee or a question about the weather, that kind of stuff.
The safe topics.
Yeah, just filler, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I think notice how those kind of mundane topics, they actually serve a purpose. It's like, they're testing the waters a little bit, finding common ground, but without diving into anything that's too intense.
Too personal. Yeah, I see what you mean. It's not really about the coffee itself.
Yeah.
It's about finding a connection. Like, oh, we both like this, or we both think this.
Or even we're both experiencing this together, you
Sure.
know? It's
Right.
like, hey, we're both humans here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And from there, hopefully you can branch out. You can build on that.
Yeah. And in this video, it definitely does. I mean, Emily and Sarah, they end up chatting for an hour.
Oh, wow.
They're exchanging recommendations, for books and stuff. And they make plans to meet up again.
Oh, that's cool.
All from just that little, tiny casual chat at the cafe.
Yeah. That is really cool how, something so small can just blossom like that.
Yeah. So it's like a perfect illustration of how, small talk, when it's done with genuine interest, a little bit of courage, it can create these ripples of connection,
Yeah.
that go way beyond that initial how are you doing?
I like that, ripples.
So we've seen how it works in the video. How can we apply this to our own lives?
Yeah, that's the question, right?
Yeah.
Let's be honest. How many times do we just stay silent when just a simple hello could start something that's really cool?
I know, for sure. So what's fascinating is that this video, it kind of gives us these clues about how to actually make those connections better,
Oh, okay.
And so, for example, there's a moment where Emily, she describes Sarah as easygoing,
Uh-huh.
and it made me think what makes someone easygoing?
Right.
Are they just lucky? Or is it something that Emily did,
Yeah.
to create that ease?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. So if we actually dissect this interaction between them, I think we can uncover these subtle cues
Okay.
and these strategies that can actually transform small talk from something that we dread
Mm-hmm.
into a genuine opportunity to connect with someone.
I like that.
Okay, so we're trying to figure out what makes someone easygoing and approachable like Sarah in the video.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, we've all met those people who just they effortlessly draw you into a conversation.
Yeah, they just have this way about them.
Yeah. So is it all about body language? Are they just smiling and making eye contact and that's it?
Well, I mean, that's definitely part of it for sure.
Yeah.
But I think if we look closely at the video, there's something more subtle going on.
Okay.
It's the way Sarah listens and responds to Emily. Watch how she leans in slightly and she nods her head.
Okay.
And she makes these little verbal cues, like, oh, wow, or tell me more.
It's almost like she's sending the signal that says, I'm actually interested in what you're talking about.
Exactly. And that kind of active listening,
Yeah.
it creates this positive feedback loop.
Oh, okay.
It makes Emily feel heard and valued, and then that just encourages her to, open up even more.
Right.
And then the conversation just flows from there.
Yeah. It doesn't feel forced or awkward at all. It just feels natural.
It's genuine.
Yeah. And another thing that struck me was how Sarah uses questions, but not just to like get information,
Mm-hmm.
but to actually build rapport.
Yes.
So for example, instead of just saying, like, what kind of coffee do you like?
Right.
She asks, what's your go-to drink when you need a pick-me-up?
Ooh, I see.
It's so much more like personal,
It is. It's like she's inviting Emily to share a little piece of herself,
Right.
her preferences, her story.
Yeah, and by framing the question that way, it's like creating this deeper connection. It's not just about the coffee anymore. It's about understanding like what makes Emily tick.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting to see a pattern here.
Yeah.
It's not just about the words that you use, but it's the intention behind them,
Absolutely. Small talk is so much more than just exchanging pleasantries,
Right.
It's an opportunity to connect on a human level.
Yeah.
To discover those things you have in common and to actually build relationships.
And the amazing thing is, this video that was supposed to be for, language learners, it's like a masterclass in human connection.
It really is.
It's this reminder that even in those like really mundane interactions, there's always potential for something meaningful.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being present and being curious and actually being interested in the other person.
Right.
Okay, I'm totally on board with this whole like small talk as a superpower idea.
Uh-huh.
But let's be real for a sec.
Okay.
We've all had those conversations that just feel like off.
You mean like forced or awkward or just like boring?
Exactly. The video doesn't really show those scenarios.
Right.
So like what happens when you're stuck in that conversational rut? Like how do you gracefully exit without being rude?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And that's something that we can definitely delve into in the next part of our deep dive. Because, while this video, it focuses on the positive side of small talk,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to acknowledge that not every interaction is going to be, this magical connection.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so we figured out some pretty good strategies to make small talk more meaningful.
Right.
But what about those times when, like you're trying your best, but it's just not happening?
Right.
Like the conversation's not really flowing.
Yeah.
And you're kind of stuck talking about the weather again.
Right.
For like the 10th time that day.
It can be painful.
Yeah, and it feels like tumbleweeds.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that feeling.
So how do you handle those situations?
Mm-hmm.
Like how do you get out of there without being rude?
Right.
Because sometimes you just gotta.
Yeah. You got to make a graceful exit.
Exactly.
I think the key is to just be mindful,
Okay.
of your own comfort level, but also the other person's feelings.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to like cut them off,
Right.
but at the same time, you don't want to be stuck there.
Right.
If it's not, if it's not going anywhere.
So what's the best way to like navigate that?
Mhm.
Any tips from our little small talk masterclass video?
Well, I mean, the video mostly focuses on the good interaction.
Right.
But, we can learn something from it anyway.
Okay.
So remember how Sarah kind of redirected the conversation when Emily mentioned that book?
Uh-huh.
We can do that too.
You mean like finding a way to like change the subject?
Exactly. Like let's say, they're going on and on about something and you're just not into it.
Yeah.
You could say something like, "Oh, that reminds me of something I read."
Oh.
And then, bring up something else.
Ooh. Whoa. That's clever.
It's like you're still acknowledging what they're saying,
Right.
but you're also taking control a little bit. And then if you really need to go,
Mm-hmm.
just be honest, but polite.
Okay.
Like you could just say, "It was great talking to you, but I got to run."
Keep it simple.
Yeah. No need to overthink it.
This whole deep dive has been really interesting, I gotta say.
Oh, good.
I'm seeing small talk in a whole new way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just about, filling the silence. It's actually a skill
It is.
that we can work on
You can get better at it.
and use it to connect with people.
And like any skill, it takes practice.
Mm-hmm.
Some conversations are going to be easy,
Right.
and some are going to be a little harder.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even the little chats,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that don't seem like much,
Mm-hmm.
they can still matter.
You know what? I keep thinking about Emily in the video.
Yeah.
Like she just said hello.
Right.
And it turned into this real connection,
Mm-hmm.
and it made her day better. And I'm wondering, like, how many times have I missed out on that?
Yeah.
Just because I thought small talk was dumb.
That's the thing, right? You never know.
Yeah.
It could be anything.
So the next time, you're out there
Hmm.
and you're a little hesitant, to talk to someone. Remember Emily and Sarah?
Mm-hmm.
Remember that? Just saying hi?
Yeah.
Could be the start of something really cool.
A new friendship, a funny story, anything.
Yeah, just a moment that makes your day better.
Exactly.
Ah,
Because even the small moments, they all add up.
that's a great way to put it.
And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It's like an invitation
Mhm.
to try new things, to be open to the unexpected,
Yeah.
and to remember that anything is possible.
Even from just a little chat.
Exactly.
Well said. Well, on that note, I think we're going to wrap up our deep dive into the world of small talk.
Okay.
Thanks for joining us.